If you love comics and you love TV, 2019 is looking like a good year. A bunch of new shows are coming, and now let's talk about it. The top 10 most anticipated shows, comic shows of 2019. It's time to discuss it, Universe. Let's go. What's up, guys? Welcome to the web's first must-see comic and nerd culture show. Welcome to the Comic Universe. I'm Dr. J. I've got a PhD in nerd culture, and I should know. I printed it out myself. Well, new year, new topics to discuss, and of course, me being the big TV fan that I am, I figured what better way to kick off the new year than talk about some of the big comic book-based TV shows that are coming out in 2019. Now, there are a lot. It was really hard to narrow this down to just 10, and I'm going to be honest with you, it would have been even harder to rank these in order of my anticipation. So, honestly, this list is in no particular order, but hey, you got to obey the algorithm. Everybody likes top 10s, so I listed this as a top 10. Keeping it 100 with y'all, 100%. But yeah, so let's get down to it, man. There are a lot of shows to talk about, and kind of just my opinion on them overall so far with all the information we know about them. We're gonna start with the ones we know the least about. So at number 10, we are talking about Batwoman coming to the CW. We saw her in Elseworlds. She made a pretty big impact with the few scenes she was in. I'm really looking forward to see what Ruby Rose can do as Batwoman. The costume looks great. Gotham looks great. I'm interested to see what Gotham in the Arrowverse looks like. But again, this is a show we know next to nothing about besides some small cast descriptions and things like that. But we'll have to see as more information comes up about it. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I mean, it's finally a Batman-related show in the Arrowverse, so I'm super hyped. Moving on to number 9, we are talking about Stargirl. Again, this is in no particular order, because honestly, I'm as equally excited for all of these. Like, Stargirl is a character that I am a big fan of. I wasn't a big fan of the JSA. I had barely known who the JSA were until I read the Stargirl series, and that's what really introduced me to the JSA and the JSA All-Stars, and like the whole concept of like the Golden Age heroes being a thing. And it was really awesome. It's just this really interesting coming-of-age story of a normal girl kind of discovering that she's attached to this huge decade-spanning legacy, and kind of the pressure of living up to that. And honestly, like I said, Courtney Whitmore, Stargirl, is one of my favorite characters. One of Jeff Johns' best creations, and obviously there's a lot of heart put behind that creation because, named after her sister and all that. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Stargirl. Actually, a lot of shows on the DC Universe app are on this list, but definitely Stargirl I am super looking forward to. That's why it earns the number 9 spot, even though, like I said, there is no particular order to this list. Number 7 is a show that I've actually already seen the first episode of, because they did an early premiere on Sci-Fi, and that is Deadly Class. And without spoiling too much, I loved it. I just recently got into the series itself. In fact, probably in a couple days, I will be uploading my review of the first deluxe edition that I got for Christmas, Deadly Class, Book 1, Noise, Noise, Noise. So look forward to that on the channel. But it was a really good adaptation, very well acted, and the action is already pretty great. Especially, like, a lot of people sleep on Sci-Fi, thinking Sci-Fi is just for like the cheap, like dumb B movies, B monster movies. But as of recent years, with stuff like Lost Girl and Winona Earp and like Killjoys, Sci-Fi's been really killing it with the TV shows for the most part. So again, that first episode was really good, nice pilot, and I have a feeling that the rest of the season will be just as good and definitely make it up there. Moving on to the number 6 spot, we have the only Netflix show on this list, Umbrella Academy. Now, Umbrella Academy is a series that I personally love. I read the original miniseries. I haven't read any of the follow-ups, but I did read the original miniseries when it came out. It's written by Gerard Way Yes, Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, who does Doom Patrol now. This was his first major series, and it was really fun. It's set in, I believe it was like 87, something like that, or no, 70 something. And it basically follows four random kids who were basically adopted by this dude because they were basically chosen to be born with superpowers, and they kind of form this surrogate family that is kind of destined to save the world. It's pretty interesting. They don't have real names; they go by numbers. It's a fun concept, and I can't wait to see what Netflix does with it. It has a pretty stacked cast. Netflix has been hitting out the park recently, so really looking forward to Umbrella Academy, and that's why it's earned the number 6 spot on the list. Moving on to the top 5, we've got Krypton Season 2, another one from Sci-Fi, and let me tell you something. When I first heard of Krypton, heard about Krypton, I was like, nobody asked for this, nobody needs this is gonna suck. It's gonna be Gotham all over again. And I gotta tell you, man, I was pleasantly surprised. I really, really enjoyed Krypton Season 1. It has a very unique take on Krypton. It takes kind of the best parts of Man of Steel, which are the Krypton parts, and turned it into like a almost Game of Thrones-esque TV show, which I thought was awesome. Mixed with those, Krypton sci-fi elements from Man of Steel, which I thought, again, really dope. They're going to bring in some really cool elements to the DC Universe, like the Rand-Thanagar War, and they confirmed already that Lobo's going to show up in Krypton Season 2, so we'll get to see the main man in live action. Unfortunately, not played by Jason Momoa or Danish. I think he's also... Is he going to be played by Daniel Trejo? I heard somewhere he's going to be played by Daniel Trejo. I don't know if that's true or not. I forget exactly, but that's honestly like one of the main reasons I'm super hyped for Krypton, despite on top of the fact that the first season was great, way better than I expected. Really looking forward to Krypton Season 2. Trying to decide whether I should cover it on this channel or my main one, but we'll see. But either way, definitely looking forward to Krypton Season 2. That's why it's made it onto the list. Moving on to number 4, we've got Doom Patrol. When they were introduced in the episode of Titans, I was immediately just like, okay, yeah, I'm super excited for this. This looks really interesting. I am down for every single one of the characters. Cyborg looks pretty decent. I'm interested to see what they do there. A lot of people were already hating on his first look, but look, yo, it's a first look. All first looks suck. Wait until you see it in action before you really judge it, but I'm really interested in Doom Patrol. I like the look and the feel of the characters that we got to meet so far. Crazy Jane, I'm super hyped. Like, yo, they got the pretty one, the pretty shorter Latina chick from Orange Is the New Black to play Crazy Jane, and she looks amazing. I cannot wait to see her in action. I'm actually not super familiar with the Doom Patrol besides the Gerard Way stuff and the Grant Morrison stuff. I don't know like the old school Doom Patrol, but overall super hyped. Definitely looking forward to that one on DC Universe as well. Number 3 is another DC Universe show. If you see me keep looking away, I'm actually just looking at my list, so sorry about that. Number 3 is another DC Universe show, and there's of course Swamp Thing, and this is a show that I've been excited for since they announced it as part of the roster for the DC Universe original program lineup. Swamp Thing is something that I've been into since high school. When I was first in high school, around 9th grade, I went on a huge Vertigo kick where I read stuff like Preacher, Lucifer, Sandman, then Lucifer, then of course Hellblazer, Swamp Thing, because a lot of the Vertigo stuff ended up being connected anyway, because Lucifer's a spin-off of Sandman, Hellblazer's kind of a spin-off of Swamp Thing because, you know, John Constantine first showed up in Swamp Thing. But yeah, really excited to see Swamp Thing. He's one of my favorite Vertigo characters, along with John Constantine and Lucifer. Which, honestly, I forgot to put Lucifer on this list, so Lucifer Season 3, or Season 4 is definitely an honorable mention. But the reason probably the reason I didn't mention it was because I haven't caught up. I've only seen, like, the first season and part of Season 2. I will definitely catch up on Netflix, and, like, I'm looking forward to it, but, yeah, I'm super excited for Lucifer as well. I guess that'll make it an unofficial 11th spot. But moving on to number 2, we've got the Watchmen HBO series. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what Watchmen is going to be like as a TV series. I'm super excited. I believe they got the guy who did The Leftovers behind this one, behind this show, and The Leftovers was another big show on HBO, which did really well. I didn't really get into it, but I heard it was really good, and I can't wait to see what happens there. I honestly think Watchmen is much better fitted as a TV show than a movie, but you know, that's just me. I think they have a lot more time to like expand on the plot lines than the movie did. The movie had to do a lot of condensing, as you do with a movie, but we'll see. All right. So moving on to the last and final entry on this list. We are going to Young Justice Season 3. That one is premiering this Friday in a couple days as of recording this video. And oh, I am beyond hyped. This is something, you know, we've all been waiting for. Now, granted, the comics and the show are two super completely different things. But I love the show for what it is, and I love the comics for what it is. It's its own separate thing. And I cannot wait to see where they continue off from here. But yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps up this list as my top 10 most anticipated comic book shows of 2019. Let me know your list in the comments down below. Which comic book shows are you looking forward to? Let us know down there in the comments. Also, don't forget to Hulk smash that subscribe button and join the world's mightiest, become one of the Earth's mightiest subscribers today. Also, don't forget to follow us on all our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Comic Universe, at Comic Universe HQ. So, until next time, guys, this is Jay from Jay's Reviews for Comic Universe, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time in the universe. Peace.